Buon pomeriggio a tutti. Dopo tanto tempo facciamo una cazzo di live. Ehm, Purtroppo questa non era stata organizzata, ragazzi, perché ho... dove stanno le cuffie? Ehm, Ho delle cose da fare, tra cui cercare un appartamento a Roma per andarci a vivere e quindi non ho proprio modo di organizzarmi. Sono più le volte che sto a Roma, come non so chi ha notato. È un po' che non facevo live, un paio, 2 o 3 settimane che non facevo proprio live. Forse anche di più. Allora, abbiamo il gioco. Nel frattempo. Allora, ragazzi, vi dico subito che è tutto in inglese. Io non conosco l'inglese, lo volevo giocare comunque. E quindi lo giochiamo. Che vuoi sincronizzare che non c'è nulla? Adesso vediamo anche l'audio. Forse è alto? No, mi pare che sia buono. Sistemiamo anche la sedia, visto che ci stiamo. E startiamo.
Stick's not responding. Can you take control?
The storm is interfering with my senses.
Hold on.
Impact in 10, 9. Oh, there it is. Addie? Addie, please respond.
Everything hurts.
You've been out for nearly an hour.
What's our status, Alan?
We've crashed.
Yeah, I got that.
My hull is intact. Thrusters 2 and 4 are damaged and will require realignment.
So will my back. Can you let me out?
Not before we talk about your suit.
Okay, talk.
I'm reading green on seals, green on batteries. Thermals are, well, not green, but fine, and you have 5.35 hours of oxygen, maybe 6 if we run the scrubbers hot. But Addie, we've had this discussion before. You won't have enough to...
It's fine. I have a plan.
I'm concerned that...
I have a plan.
Understood.
Now, open the hatch.
The canopy hydraulics are not responding. You'll have to pull the manual release.
Ok, allora, io so che cosa tratta il gioco, cioè nel senso so la storia del gioco perché sono andata a leggere la storia appunto su internet, perché è tutto in inglese. Quindi, in definitiva, noi siamo una tizia che sta viaggiando nello spazio per cercare l'entità divina. Adesso non sto a dirvi tutto perché sennò vi spoilerò. E siamo arrivati su questo pianeta dove ci è arrivato un segnale, non mi ricordo adesso com'era la cosa, se comunque siamo arrivati su questo pianeta perché abbiamo avuto delle informazioni che potrebbe trovarsi qui. Ora, vediamo come cazzo allora si esce da qui, solo quello devo premere? Solo quello devo premere, allora vediamo.
Seriously. You stupid piece of junk.
I'm right here.
Ah, un pianeta ghiacciato, perfetto. Come sapete a me
Visibility's
piacciono
terrible.
molto.
Any sign of the spire?
I'm not picking up anything new, just the original beacon signal. You'll need to use your wayfinder to locate an entry point, if there is one.
Ok,
All right.
questa.
Let's figure out where you're at, Grace.
Ma questa è l'intelligenza
You
artificiale.
know the beacon could be anything. A lost colony, a relay station.
200 distinct oral histories can't be wrong, Alan. Grace is here.
Ma eravamo su un fianco. Da come era vista la visuale pensavo che fossimo cascati in piedi. Comunque, dicevo, noi abbiamo questa intelligenza artificiale che ci dà delle indicazioni.
I can't believe this storm.
Dobbiamo seguire.
Where would this have come from?
There is record of ancient terraforming on other moons. I think it's safe to assume that Ganymede is not an exception.
Però non ho visto il gioco, quindi non so esattamente cosa troviamo.
There's something man-made here.
Non so neanche se si può sparare. Adesso vediamo. Adesso siamo su un
There's a
pianeta
little
che c'ha
bridge here.
una
There wouldn't be much sense of building this if we weren't within walking distance of the spire.
By all estimates, the beacon is within 400 meters.
Non posso terminare.
This looks climbable. Which way here?
Non volevo. Scusate, io volevo vedere di là, c'è una strada. C'era qualcosa. C'è un altro.
Oh no!
Aia.
There goes the back again.
What
Mi sa
happened?
che non era questa.
Fell into a stupid fissure. Looking for a new way to reach the spire. Or at least someplace where it will be easier to find my body.
Mi sa che non era questa la strada.
Looks a little tight. It's opened up again.
Ecco. Questo?
It's like a weather station or maybe a seismic station. Looks the era of that relay from the Dawes Sea Dig. It's at least 700 years old, Alan.
Si presa dalla
The surface
neve.
temperature is dropping. We can't maintain your thermals much longer.
We're close. I can feel it.
I wish I shared your optimism.
Può correre? No.
Oh my god. This has to be it.
What are you seeing, Addy?
I'm looking at what must be the spire superstructure. I can't imagine how something this big has gone undetected for this long.
A 500-year-old storm?
I don't know. Doesn't seem possible. I can see an exhaust port that might be low enough to jump to.
O jumpiamo o saltiamo di o saliamo di qua. Andiamo a salire più vicino.
There's a destroyed surface ladder. I'll need to find another way in.
Ah, no. Tanto un'interazione. Ok.
Did you make it, Addy?
I'll let you know in 1 sec. I'm in.
nulla.
All right, Grace. Let's find out what you've been up to for the past 900 years. Solid ice this way.
Non si vede più un cazzo. Non camminiamo più niente. Ah, ok, caricamento.
Hope my light still works.
Ma è un horror, mi sa, perché sembra tipo Alien qua. Allora, dove dobbiamo
Well, you
andare?
should see this spooky tunnel I'm in, Alan.
And why would I want that?
Come on, you're not excited?
You crash landed me in a frozen hellscape and left me for salvage.
10 years of research, not to mention 6 months of spaceflight, are about to pay off.
But at what cost?
Don't ruin this for me. Looks like a bit of a labyrinth, but I'm still picking up the signal
Spero
ahead.
che ci serva.
And you can still hear me?
Loud and clear, buddy. These can't be powered. Must be airflow in the tunnels. I have to say, there's more atmosphere than I was expecting.
Not nearly enough to survive.
I'm looking at a pretty hefty blower. For venting, maybe?
Or for the production and movement of air.
Which means more than a few people used to live here. Looks like the tunnels can be air sealed. I'm guessing large parts of the station can be pressurized.
Possiamo interagire con parecchie cose. Il problema è
The
che
structure
non
looks
si
to be in
capisce
decent
un cazzo.
condition.
Cioè,
Another
io non
good
capisco
sign.
un cazzo, visto che è tutto in inglese. Non si può interagire. Non si può interagire, quindi dall'altra parte.
Everything about
Ah,
this
tra l'altro
place looks
scendendo qui
30th
sotto
century to
ci
me.
siamo allontanati.
It's the right era, the right size.
Don't say it, Addy. We've had our hopes dashed before.
No. 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 Qui c'è un passaggio. Là che c'è? No. Allora, ci sono due passaggi. C'è questo. C'è quello di là. Siamo qui. Bloccato. Non interagisce. Niente. Niente. Ah, questo qui si passa. Niente. Niente. Qui niente.
This would take me back to the start. That would just take me back.
Ah, con questo si torna indietro, ok? Un minimo riesco a capirlo. Questo era l'altro passaggio. Qui si va avanti. Siamo arrivati qui, chiuso. Dobbiamo andare di più forse.
This one's broken. I think I can crawl through.
Basta che non parte la ventola, se no ci viene. Tutto ghiacciato qua.
Jeez. That's gotta be over 15 meters.
And if gravity here is 1/6 of that on Earth, then a 15-meter fall here would be the equivalent of falling less than 3 meters at standard G, which you've mastered a couple of times already on the moon's surface.
Dobbiamo lanciarci di sotto?
It's probably fine.
I could calculate
Sì,
outcome
sotto,
probabilities
vai.
based on previous drop impacts if you've already jumped, haven't you?
Gosh, I hope this is the right way. Oh boy, this is slick.
Addy?
Oh no.
Ci siamo rotti le rotule.
Whoa.
Are you hurt, Addy?
I'm working on it. The structure is enormous. This has to be the Gray
Un
Spire,
salto dalla
Alan.
gioppia non si
And
sente.
there it is. The perfect setup for disappointment.
Questa non si apre.
I found the beacon. The transmitter is on some sort of console.
It must be part of a control network for the megastructure.
You think we can make a connection here?
Theoretically, if you run a scan, I can attempt to connect. The interface language is quite old and sophisticated, but we should be able to calibrate your computer to interact. You can use your gyroscope to sync with the terminal. I have the first calibration
Sta
position.
sintonizzando col
The meter
computer.
will indicate when you are close.
Ah, ok.
Watch the meter closely and move your hands slowly to find the position. First position is locked. Second calibration position is up.
Ah,
That's two, and here's the final position.
dobbiamo codificarlo.
That's it. We're in. Accessing the network now. Oh,
Shit.
Ah,
Alan, you there? Alan?
Hello,
Ah!
a visitor. Let's have a look.
Where's Alan? Who is this?
Who is this? Who are you? Entering a home without knowing its host.
Are you Grace?
Good question. I'm not entirely Grace. I'm running on just a small part of her logic processing.
Grace is still here.
And what brings you here?
My name is Adamari Ito. I'm an explorer.
I must apologize, Adamori. It would appear I have lost much of my capacity. I cannot see very far beyond the room we are in.
I've lost connection with my ship's AI.
You won't need Alan here. I can show you around.
Will you be able to let me out of this room?
Of course. But until we are able to restore power to the station, I will require your assistance. There should be a manual winch set in the floor at the foot of one of the sliding doors.
fatemi vedere un attimo. Photo mod qui, no. No, non c'ha cose strane. Quindi mi sa che non bisogna neanche trovare oggetti.
Look for a hinged floor grate at the foot of one of the doors.
Dunque, l'entità che noi dobbiamo trovare si chiamava Grace e sembrerebbe che interagendo con questo aggeggio l'entità Grace si sia
The winch is set in
caricata
the
sul
floor below one of the doors.
computer, sul nostro bracciale, il nostro computer al posto di Alan. Ora devo capire come cazzarola uscire da qui, però.
You'll have to look below each door. I'm not certain which has the manual winch.
Come uscire da qui? Anche perché, ripeto, io l'inglese non lo capisco, quindi se mi sta dando delle indicazioni non lo capirò mai. Qualcosa nel terreno, per terra. Ah, eccolo.
This must be it.
Working the winch will open the door.
Do you know where Grace has been all this time?
Grace went somewhere?
She's been gone for hundreds of years.
I am
Ah,
running on a
dobbiamo aprire
very
le
old
porte
server.
manualmente.
My memories predate the completion of the Grace Spire.
Grace ushered in humanity's golden age. Peace across the system, booming interplanetary trade, scientific marvels, colonies beyond the orbit of Neptune. And then she was gone, and it all fell apart.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Well, you're a lot more than an archaeologist usually gets.
Perché
The first step to
rimetterlo a
restoring
posto?
Grace is to bring the Spire's power station back online.
Let's do it.
I'll light the way.
Quest'altro non c'era proprio. Dai.
What do I do here?
This is a security panel. I am decrypting the pattern now. Ah, yes. Simple enough. You'll need to light up 9 buttons, forming a square at the center of the panel.
Forma quadrata.
Okay, the 9 buttons in the center.
That is what I said.
Devo creare una forma quadrata. Quello mi sta
If you're not Grace, then what do I call you?
I don't believe there are any identification strings in my base logic that would suffice.
I'll call you Logic then. For now. Till we have a better idea of who you are. And, you can call me Addie.
I will refer to you as Addie, then, until we have a better idea of who you are. Do they not have squares where you are from?
Just give me a second.
Quindi lei mi dà delle indicazioni. Il problema è che io non capendo l'inglese.
So what exactly are you?
The station's emergency server had defaulted to Grace's original logic processing. That's me, as you've suggested. The server can also run a program dedicated to the control of infrastructure, and a third system dedicated solely to empathizing with and understanding humans. When power is restored, Grace's primary servers should come online, and we will become some small part of Grace's consciousness. Go ahead and activate the elevator.
This looks like metallic
Ah, si
rock.
scende?
The power station is set into the spire's foundation
Quindi su
stone.
questo pianeta
The
vivevano
foundation
sottoterra.
stone would have been an asteroid, right?
Most certainly. About 50 cubic kilometers, from what I can recall.
Amazing. Most accounts of Grace's origins talk about an asteroid being pulled from the heavens. It makes sense. There wouldn't be any construction resources on Ganymede and nothing to anchor the structure. I can't imagine the effort it would have taken to redirect an asteroid that big. We don't do anything like that today.
Quindi in definitiva qui c'era una civiltà.
Can you open this?
With some difficulty, I will need to direct power from logic to control processing. And I will not function at the same cognitive level until full power is restored.
What do you mean, at the same level?
Good luck, Addie.
Ok.
You still there?
Where would I have
Questo chi è?
gone?
You sound a little different.
Just stronger. The voice of control resonates through the very walls of the structure. I shall start the turbine after you prime the generators that open the spillway.
And this turbine still works?
It worked before, and it will work again. You shall find the generators on the platform at the other side of the room.
Alrighty.
Non c'è modo di correre. No, sto per spingere. Lì c'è Andiamo ad esplorare.
You know what's in these?
Go to the 3 generators overlooking the turbine.
They're cartridges. For what, I wonder?
Enough, Addie. You must go to the generators.
Direi che quelli ci serviranno a qualcosa.
You must prime the generators first.
Makes sense.
Ah, manca la corrente. Ok.
What happened here? Someone ripped this apart.
For the last time, go to the generators.
These look like crystal core processors. Amazing. You can find the material to build one of those today.
Why do you insist on being so insolent? Go to the generators.
So, why do you need me to start these?
Tradition.
Sabotage, maybe.
Stai incazzando? Devi andare al generatore.
So, do you share memories with the logic processor?
Indeed, we are all part of grace. Aspects of her infinite power. Shadows of what was and promises of what will be. I was the light that shone in the darkness. I was the hand that divided the firmament.
Quindi sono delle personalità di Grace, delle entità. Come fa un'entità divina a essersi caricata su cosa come si
The
chiama?
turbine has failed us.
That's not good.
I must call upon you to cast out the wicked instrument,
The what?
the broken turbine. You must go to it now.
Alright.
Abbiamo riattaccato la corrente. Pensa da quant'è che questo posto non è disabitato, perché se la corrente è stata spenta molto probabilmente è parecchio tempo che nessuno ci abita. Crane? Crane che vuol dire? Boh. Non mi fa salire però. Capisco perché mi dice che posso salirci ma poi non ci sale. Oh.
Going down. I'm safe to be down here, right?
You shall not be harmed. You must uncouple the safety latches.
That sounds unsafe.
It is not.
Ah, ok, il generatore si è surriscaldato, quindi la corrente è tornata ma in parte.
You must now go to the magnetic crane.
What?
You're sure I'll be able to fix this?
If you trust in my word, yes.
Allora devo usare questo. Che sto capendo molto, Ora sì, lo posso usare.
You must first cast out the old turbine.
Ah, ok. Devo... Ah,
Now cast aside the wretched unit.
questo è costato. Si è fuso.
Now you shall
Vecchio.
place the new turbine.
Ancora vivo, ma non ti avevano steso. Che palle.
Coglione. Coglione.
No, non mi hanno steso.
Coglione. Coglione. Coglione.
Ah, mi ero scordato che c'avevo
Coglione.
queste-
Sei ancora vivo, ma non ti avevano steso. E che palle.
Mi sono visto tutta la serie di Buffy, vecchio. Mamma mia, non mi ricordavo che finiva così.
Hello?
Everett, is that you?
Grace?
Everett.
Behold my power.
What's happened?
I am reborn. Humanity will once again flourish in the brightness of my glory.
This isn't right. Our processing has not combined. Grace has not been restored.
I think she was here for a moment. She was
Che dici?
calling to someone. Do you know who Everett is?
No. With power restored, my mind is clearer, sharper. But I could not tell you who Everett is.
You must leave this place at once. Return to your vessel and spread word of my return. From Sol's fiery core to the icy Kuiper expanse, all must know.
I've hijacked the volume control. I don't feel like this is going to be a
Alba,
short
buon
development.
pomeriggio a
We'll
te,
see
non mi
how
hai
long before he
risposto. Io ho
notices.
iniziato quest'altro
It took me
gioco,
nearly a
visto
year
che
to
non mi
get here.
rispondevi.
I
Vedi
want
che
to know
c'hai
if
da
Grace can
fare.
be brought back.
Hai
There
già
is
i
more
2
complex to explore
giorni
if
di
you head
riposo,
back to the
oggi e
control room
domani.
through which you entered.
Però siccome
We should
oggi
determine
non
where in the megastructure my
faccio
central
niente,
processors are
stanco,
located.
mi va di andare in
Perhaps along the
giro.
way you may learn more
Allora
Una serie
mi sono
di
messo a
sto
giocare.
cazzo. Ti devi vedere.
A moment longer.
Adesso che ti sei fidanzato, sei sparito. Sei un coglione. Ti devi vergognare. Sei brutto da fare schifo.
Yet more
Meglio di te.
insolence.
Meglio di te. Dai che fra qualche giorno vi faccio conoscere il mio ragazzo. Stiamo ancora finendo i vari traslochi. Che sono temporanei questi traslochi. Poi dobbiamo rispostarci un'altra volta appena riusciamo a trovare un appartamento. Dunque, dove cazzo devo andare adesso? Sono appena tornato a casa, ma sto per andare a prendere mio fratello da scuola. Ah, ok, quindi niente, comunque non riuscivamo a giocare. Molto probabilmente domani. Che è successo? Ah, grazie Alba per la sub. Meno male che la fai con Prime. Grazie Dante. Lo sai che ti voglio bene. Con la B e non con la P. Ho quasi finito la canzone, Alba. Mi manca una parte, lo sai? Solo che non so. Noi non dobbiamo fare un cazzo. Questo non dobbiamo fare un cazzo. Io non so dove devo andare. 11 mesi? Madonna, già 11 mesi, Alba? Wow.
Il cervello ti devi traslocare. Ma come fai ad essere così storto ora, vedi di resuscitare? O ti riempio di schiaffi a due, finché non diventano dispari.
Similar. They are unused recording devices.
Recording devices? Why so many?
I have no record of how they were used.
Quindi? Cioè, prima ci ha detto una cosa, adesso ce ne dice un'altra e... Dove cazzo devo andare, si può sapere? Devo riscendere? Dobbiamo riscendere. No, perché qui è chiuso. Questo lo devo... No, non lo devo... Lì sono i blocchi.
Where
Quindi,
are you
no?
going? You must release the safety latches.
Ah, forse devo tornare indietro proprio? Oh, proviamo. Certo che palle che non puoi correre.
So, are there any accounts as to why Grace was shut down in the first place?
There's
Dimenticavo di dirti una cosa molto importante.
Dark Age?
Coglione,
much of humanity
coglione,
would have been managed by Grace.
coglione, coglione,
When she went down 900
Coglione.
years ago, so did the ability to record.
coglione,
The research that led me to this is
Coglione.
based on oral histories mostly.
Coglione.
And some artifacts
Coglione.
on Earth and Mars.
coglione.
Ciao culo!
Once connected to Grace.
Hai capito?
Then we share an interest in
Stasera ci
shedding
sei?
light
Sì,
on
stasera
this
ci
Dark
sono.
Age.
Dov'è la scatola? La scatola degli attrezzi, dov'è? Mi sa che non mi manda i messaggi. Che cos'è che non ti manda i messaggi, Gabba? Di qua.
From what I can tell, there is some sort of transit system.
Mo
on
vedo,
the
se
other
domani
side of
non
the
mi
control
muovo di
room,
casa
which
ti
should lead you
lo
to the
faccio
other
sapere, in
parts of the spire.
caso se puoi giochiamo a Remnant. Cerchiamo di arrivare alla conclusione.
I will illuminate the door leading to this transit system.
Ah sì, mi ha aperto tutte le porte, ok. Io qui non vedo un cazzo. Ah no, da lì sono caduto. Quindi abbiamo una porta a destra e una porta a sinistra. Questa c'ha il... E qui è inutile andarci. Vediamo però se c'è qualcosa. Però scusa, qui c'è possibilità di ricadere, quindi no. Quindi non so no, allora mi sa che io sono arrivato da qui, perché l'ingresso di quel coso deve essere di là, che non ho controllato se c'era qualcosa. Allora andiamo a controllare di là, che tanto lì c'è il pannello di sicurezza, quindi sicuramente c'è... come si dice? Si va avanti. Con gli occhiali non vedo più un cazzo. Andiamo a luce. Non c'è un cazzo neanche qui a quanto pare. La porta è bloccatissima, quindi a posto. Andiamo avanti. Stasera ti vengo a vedere, brutta faccia da maiale.
Alas, I require your nimble fingers again.
All right, what's the pattern?
Another easy one. The Phoenician letter Tor.
Who would know that?
I don't know. Perhaps an archaeologist? How about the Greek letter Chi? The Roman numeral 10?
Okay.
Non ho capito qual era il pin. Tanto spegniamoli tutti così. Tanto per... Però non ho capito qual è il pin. Non mi posso neanche staccare dal pannello e non posso
Please
neanche...
tell me you know your Roman numerals. How about a big fat X?
Ah,
You know
la
that
X.
one?
Di X,
Perhaps it's the
cazzo.
symbol you use to sign documents.
Just give me a sec. Got it.
This is not the way to your ship.
Do you believe Grace could have done something to cause humans to turn on her?
Like what?
Like becoming too overbearing?
Humans would have been given no reason to question my bearing.
It's one of my theories, yes? This must be the main entrance. I'm guessing the landing pad is on the other side of the big doors?
That's correct, Addy. Though the pad appears to be buried under meters of ice.
Quindi effettivamente qui ci abitavano delle persone. C'era il pianeta era abitato. E Grace veniva adorata come una divinità. A te sembrano tipo
This looks Olympian or Neo-Egyptian.
egiziani.
The triangle must represent the spire. Beautiful, don't you think?
Does it matter if it's beautiful?
That's another way to see it, sure.
Vediamo. Qua?
What are these for?
They appear to be terminals for processing visitors to the spire. But they no longer store any useful information.
Ah, questi servivano per mandare le informazioni. Quindi è tipo la posta. Ok. Non so perché mi dà l'idea un po' di coso, come si chiama?
Is this an airlock?
Yes.
Quello
The
con i
spire
bambini
beyond
Big
this
Daddy.
point can be pressurized.
Adesso non mi viene il nome.
I assume your suit has limited oxygen?
I have about 5 hours left.
That's quite a risk you're taking. Were you assuming station life support could be restored?
Well, can it?
I believe so.
Ah,
But
abbiamo
for reasons I'll
l'ossigeno?
never understand,
Abbiamo 5
life
ore di
support is
ossigeno?
controlled by empathy processing. I suppose
C'è
they
un
had to give it
limite?
something to do.
Forse è
I
solo
will
per
enable that programming now.
Hello, Addie.
Hello. So you're going to get oxygen going?
The process has already begun, my friend. No rush. If you let me accompany you along the path ahead, I can balance the environment to your life force as we walk.
Oh, here we go.
Wow. How are these plants still intact?
They must have been subject to a very sudden drop in temperature while still alive.
What is this place?
Remaining connected to one's natural world is important for a person's well-being. A fitting starting point for those entering the structure, don't you think?
È troppo ben curato
Do
per
you
essere un
recognize any
pianeta
of the objects
disabitato.
in this section of the garden? I'd love to know what you think of them. For the calibration process.
I have no idea what this is. A weapon or a tool of some kind?
It's a device for working metal. Why do you suppose it's in this garden, Addie?
It could be a symbol of hard work.
An industrious future? Or a laborious past, perhaps?
Am I doing this right?
You are doing splendidly.
I'm sorry. This cannot possibly be necessary.
Temperature preferences can vary considerably between individuals. Careful calibration is essential.
How about above freezing and we proceed?
It's really up to Addie. If you don't wish to consider more objects, I can set the temperature within a survivable range, and you can move on to the flower bed next to the stairs.
Io voglio opzioni. Game, video, audio. No, non c'è in italiano. Ma già lo sapevo che non c'era in italiano, però metti caso avessero aggiornato qualcosa. Un cazzo proprio.
Is this a lantern?
An expression of our certainty in the flow of time.
How so?
A craftsman spent months carving this remarkable device based on the absolute certainty that after day, night would follow.
All right, I follow.
What's the point of this, Addie?
I'm an explorer. I'm here to learn. This must be Terra Classical, or made in the style.
The ancient Greeks boarded their ships and set out to explore the world, discover its gods, and conquer its monsters. You are an explorer, Addie. But are you here to meet a god or to slay some beast, I wonder? You're not a planner, are you?
I've been told that. This statue could be outer colonial. It's simple, but it's quite beautiful, I guess.
And why would its beauty matter?
People like pretty things.
A human truth spanning thousands of years. What would you say these objects have in common?
They're artifacts from long before the building of the station.
The things we leave behind say something about us,
Il
don't they?
messaggio è stato
What a
automodico, il
society leaves
messaggio è stato
behind is all we have of
sospeso
understanding how they
per il
lived.
seguente motivo.
We're interested in what you were willing to leave behind in order to come here.
Haven't left a whole lot, to be honest.
I believe that's all I will need to set the perfect temperature.
Finally.
You can move on to the flower bed next to the stairs.
Pubblicità. Quindi grazie
This
Automod.
looks like Pacific Revival.
Noi la
Part of an
pubblicità
archway,
non
maybe.
serve.
That's a pretty big piece to ship all this way.
So it must be important, even though it's no longer holding up a roof.
I guess its purpose has changed.
As can happen with people, too. Do you see them, Addie? Life in perfect stillness? The flowers defying the hoarfrost, as you have defied the emptiness of space to arrive here.
I guess.
Which one are you?
Pardon me?
Which one of these blooms best embodies your spirit?
Seriously?
It's important I know these things in the balancing of illuminatory ergonomics.
Fancy words do not make this any less idiotic.
Go ahead, Addie. There are no wrong choices.
Ok. Ripeto, purtroppo non conosco l'inglese, quindi... Cioè, ma purtroppo neanche me ne frega un cazzo di conoscere l'inglese.
By all means, take your time if you need it.
E... Che devo fare?
You remember that you're choosing a flower, right?
Da qui sono arrivato, giusto? Sì. Allora non sto capendo il da farsi. C'è qualcos'altro che devo visionare?
Go ahead and choose a bloom, Addie.
Ah, i fiori? I fiori.
How about this one?
A solid choice. You walked an unsteady path to get here, and I think you've come in search of comfort, perhaps.
Ok, quindi se non
Or you
visioni
wish to
tutto
become
quello che
part
c'è
of
nella
something bigger
stanza,
than yourself.
lui non ti manda
Making the
avanti.
lighting adjustments now. Perfect timing. The room is fully compressed, and we can go about setting oxygen levels.
Call me old-fashioned, but how about the traditional 21%?
Go ahead and seat yourself at the center of the pergola.
No, non me lo fa. Porca miseria. Non me lo fa premere.
Whenever you're ready, you can move to the space under the pergola. I have one last exercise for the life support balance. Very good. Now, when you're ready, you can remove your helmet.
My helmet?
Of course. You can't sample the air I've prepared with it on.
And you're sure it's safe?
Your well-being is the most important thing, Addie. I'm certain it is safe.
Okay.
Now I want you to take a deep breath. A nice, deep breath. Hold it there. No. I want you to take a slow, deep breath and hold it until I tell you to release. Deep as you can, Addie. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful.
Stiamo facendo yoga.
Another deep breath in. Fill those marvelous lungs. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Very good, Addie. Feel all that built-up stress from your long journey here release into the ether. Oh, please, shut out any negative energy and take in another life-nurturing breath. 3, 2, 1, and release. Wonderful.
Even the station has a limited supply of oxygen.
Next, I want you to really open your body by reaching up toward the sky.
Ah, così, ok. Schiacciare a bambola.
Wonderful. How's that feel, Addie?
Kinda nice.
And we're almost done the calibration. For our last exercise, I will ask you to stand up.
Okay.
Now, once you're centered, you can hold your hands in a relaxed position in front of you. Now transfer your weight onto one foot. I want you to hold that for 10 seconds.
Okay.
What could this possibly have to do with oxygen levels?
It's about balancing.
Literal balancing? Unbelievable.
Almost there.
Per questa non riesce a stare
3,
su una gamba? Devo fargli
and that's 10 seconds.
lanciarla io, se non casco.
Excellent,
Ti pare?
Addie. We've done great work here today. I've made note of these settings for the other parts of the station.
So we can move to the transit system now?
The door out is just up the stairs past the flowers.
Oh, finalmente possiamo andarci. Vabbè, però abbiamo scoperto che non ci serve la bombola perché l'ossigeno c'è, almeno qui sotto.
I'll do my best to get the oxygen mix just right in the rest of the station. Just let me know if anything is not quite working for you.
You don't suspect Grace was shut down in a human conflict?
Maybe. Or you were abandoned over time.
Abandoned?
We've walked away from a lot of great things. Very cool.
These tracks move transport pods to other levels of this complex.
Let's see if we can get this thing working. Well, you wouldn't build a system like this if you didn't need to move a lot of people, which bodes well for finding something cool at the other end. This must be the transit control room. Looks like people worked here. No power?
There is no current running to this console. Control will be required to reroute power.
And you defied my wishes to tell the solar system of my return.
I'm just looking for answers, boss.
I am the only answer.
Control? Fine. Where's the electrical access for the room?
To the left of the rear door. But as I said, you will need control to reroute power to the console.
This era of electronics is dead simple. Won't hurt to take a look. This looks like a welder's jetpack. It's been disassembled for some reason.
Ah, questo è rotto.
This one looks to be in working order.
Equipaggiamento, jetpack, ma non me lo fai equipaggiare, quindi ce la prendiamo nel secchio.
This should show the power status of the room's various systems. Well, nothing in the room is on standby.
As I'd said,
I'm gonna have to look at the breakers. My dad worked on older machines for a living. They're not predictable things. They have quirks.
I sense that there is joy in this work for Addie.
well, I can tell you there is no joy running to any of those breakers.
Sometimes a good whack will knock something into place.
It's worth a try.
Well, there's your problem right there. Someone's removed the entire power relay.
As I told you,
So why can't Control help us? Isn't he programmed to serve humans?
He's more accustomed to tasks like maintaining power grids across entire planets, while I'm very much attuned to the needs of individuals.
What about you, Logic?
I apparently offer wisdom to the wind.
You activated Control and Empathy.
For all the good that did us.
Is there another configuration we can call on?
Grace's core processors contain only these 3 systems.
Can you combine the systems? Take the edge off Control with a little Empathy?
I suppose it's possible, but there's no telling what the outcome of something like that would be.
Could it be any worse than Control?
It can always be worse.
It sounds like a wonderful idea, Addie.
You're right. What do I know? Don't blame me if he turns out to be a murderer.
Addie?
Yep, it's me.
Great. What are we doing again?
We're powering up pods.
So, you want to hotwire this thing?
Yes, please.
All right. Rerouting is good to go. You can meet me at the breaker panel.
Quante personalità c'ha sto coso?
Go ahead and flip the switches.
You got it, pal.
And I'm Pal?
Sure. We'll call you pal.
Breakers look good. Now you can push the buttons that turn on the different systems. Power's up. I'll let you do the honors.
Qual era il problema, scusami,
Go ahead. Push the throttle on the console.
Here we go.
Oh, that's not good. I'm so sorry, Addie. I thought I would have enough power to do this for you. It seems so important for you to ride in a pod.
I think the track is just jammed with ice.
Ice? You'd think I would be able to handle a little ice.
It's okay. Is there some kind of de-icing system or something?
I don't know.
There is not.
All right, let's look for something to deal with the ice.
Il ghiaccio ha
This could be
bloccato quel
promising.
fare.
Would it be heavy enough to smash the ice?
Maybe. But I'm more interested in what that welding gun might do to the ice. All right, pal. Let's try this one on for size.
So, what's it gonna do exactly?
Oh, I think you're gonna like it. This is a welder. See if it still works.
Look at that. A little blue light.
That's not gonna cut it. Are you able to control this?
For you, I could definitely try.
Can you open the fuel throttle to the torch?
Okay. Whoa. I like that. What is it?
That's called an icebreaker, pal. Any idea where the flight controls are?
Someone remove them.
Okay.
Ma da qui non ci
Take
arrivo.
control if you like.
You know how to fly this?
It's pretty easy. Stuff shoots out the back and you get thrown up in the air.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, it's working. We can fly.
Easy, pal.
Well, where do you want to go?
All right. If you can move me to the pod, we can have a look at the ice. And, pal,
Ah,
it's
vada
super
solo.
important that you
Ok.
don't cut the
Devo solo
engines or
schiacciare
move too
il-
fast. I don't want to get hurt.
Togliere.
I know, but it's great, isn't it?
Yep. As long as you don't kill me. All right. This should be close enough.
It's so bright and warm.
Just hold me steady.
This is really hard.
Ho capito, ma si muove troppo. Stai fermo.
Flames are throwing me around.
You may want to ease up, Addie. Don't push him too hard.
Madonna.
Short bursts, Addie. He's really struggling.
I think that's good. Let's have a look at the rest of the track.
You got it. As long as you're not using the fire shooter, flying is pretty easy.
Just keep it up, literally. There's more ice here on the right. Whoa, hold and steady.
Sorry, this is awful.
You're quite sadistic, aren't you, Addie?
Ah, se premo il fuoco, sto coso sbarella.
Let's keep going.
On it.
And this last bit here. Now you've got the hang of it.
This is so cool. It's like the best day of my life.
Well, I'm afraid we're almost done.
Fermati.
I think that's it. Do you think you can get me back?
Yeah, I know. Got stuff to do.
Ok, ci riporta a terra.
That's fun, pal. We make a good team, right?
Yeah, I like the part where we burn the ice while flying.
Me too. Okay, I'm gonna bring down the pod.
So, where are we heading again?
I will be able to obtain structure schematics once we reach the next
Dobbiamo
level.
metterci qualche sedia poi
We'll see
dentro.
any dead bodies?
Hope so.
Finito il capitolo.
Do you know if the pod system has stops along the way?
It does not. We are arriving at the track terminus now.
Adesso che ci penso, sapete, raga, che ho un cazzo da cucinare in casa. Che mi mangio stasera? Non c'è nulla in casa. Dovevo fare la spesa. Non l'ho fatto. Cazzarola.
This looks like a settlement. Can't believe how well preserved it is.
You think people could be alive in there?
You should really consider thinking before you speak. And then consider not
Il
speaking.
congelatore c'è
Logic.
qualcosa.
As long as life support is functional, it's not entirely impossible that someone's taken up here.
Or they could be zombies.
Well, that settles it. I'll disable PAL now.
Don't you dare. We might need him.
Ma siamo ancora sottoterra? Guarda, sì. Dopo c'è luce.
Ooh, more buttons.
You really are unburdened by intellect, aren't you?
What's the pattern here?
It's the Latin ZES.
Huh?
Right, slower processors. You might call it a backwards Z or Z. And you'll need to make it the full width and height of the panel. Just having PAL running in the background is making us all a little stupider. Honestly, do you know what backwards is? Do you know what a Z looks like?
Z?
If we did switch PAL off, I could always switch him back if we need to burn something. Should we have PAL do this?
No. Non è Z. Qual è il codice? Ah. No. La tipa non dà suggerimenti? Cioè non ci dice un cazzo? Poi non posso neanche staccarmi dal pannello, capito? Per vedere magari se c'è qualche cosa in giro che non ho visto. Come indizio. Aspettiamo un attimo, aspettiamo un minuto, vediamo se per caso, qualche secondo, più che altro. Se per caso questo decide di darci delle indicazioni. Non dice nulla. dice nulla. Io ho capito che era Z. Ma quanto grossa deve essere la Z? No. Non parla. Mannaggia. C'è un tasto per farla parlare? A meno che non sia al contrario la Z. Questa non parla, non mi dà suggerimenti.
There.
Al contrario, ma vaffanculo. Cioè, la Z si fa così. Perché al contrario? Non lo so.
I've been thinking
Ho
about
capito
why
bene
anyone
Z,
would
ma
want
non
Grace to be
io
shut down.
non me
And
la
I
cercavo,
wonder
perché la devi
if
fare
there
al
could have been
contrario.
a flaw in her base programming.
Like what?
Control and empathy programming divert valuable processing power away from cognitive ability.
Which way am I going?
The big colorful doors. As I was saying, empathy interferes with practical decision making. Control is a 4-year-old.
You are a 4-year-old.
Please stop.
Sto.
It says Keeper Rosaline.
She looks like a keeper.
She's pretty.
What do you suppose a keeper is?
It must have been a revered title if a statue was made for her.
Huh. Spire caretaker, maybe.
Non riesco più a uscire di qui. Un altro pannello.
The key to restoring Grace may be about understanding her potential flaws.
Are you going to tell me the pattern?
You think we're flaws?
Having a few flaws is perfectly all right.
Logic sounds jealous to me.
Jealous? Of what? You can't even open doors without me.
Where are you going with this?
We'll talk again once you can tell me who Everett is. Figure that out, and I'll grant you access to the main elevator.
Grant me access? Logic. Seriously?
She has no way to do things without your help. It must be frustrating for her.
Could we create another hybrid? Logic and empathy?
Yeah. Like how you made me. I could give it a try.
Stop. You'll burn the place down. I will run a logic and empathy configuration as long as you promise never to allow Pal here to do any reconfiguring of our processing.
Deal.
I don't think that smart lady likes me very much.
Hello, Addie.
Un'altra personalità.
Can we start with the security door to the settlement elevator?
They are encrypted. It would take me days to work out the pattern.
Is there any other way into the settlement?
There is a room off to the side that does not have an encrypted entry. Perhaps we'll find something helpful there.
So you can open these ones?
They have simple passcodes. I can retrieve and play back for you. You will need to enter the sequence manually.
Ah, ok. A meno questo è più facile. La sequenza memorica. Ok.
This looks like another control room. These are databanks?
Yes, they contain flight records to and from the Spire.
Anything interesting about the records?
The bookings seem to be coming from internal servers, meaning the trip planning and coordination is all done here.
Where are people traveling from?
Everywhere. Destinations seem very evenly distributed throughout the solar system.
More missing equipment.
This looks carefully removed.
I can't help but feel there's an organized effort to dismantle parts of the Spire. Doesn't seem hidden enough to be sabotage. And it's too precise to be random vandalism.
What about Tomb Raiders?
I considered that, but they've left most of the valuable stuff. Do you know what this is?
It appears to be some sort of interface from which humans can track activity within the Spire. Elements of the interface are missing. I'm not sure I can access it.
I think my comm device can be calibrated to connect.
Of course, yes. Let's give that a try.
Questa è una
Looks like
mappa.
the image from the Spire entrance. This must be the Spire structure. It must be in this section here. Can you tell me where Grace's processors are located?
You would need to access the console.
Allora, se questa è la mappa dell'edificio dove stiamo, Grace dovrebbe essere questa. L'entità dovrebbe essere questa qui, quindi dobbiamo andare a salire.
There are records here of people who have occupied the rooms over the years.
Do we know the Spire's capacity?
50 units. You got it. There are millions of names here.
Millions.
There it is.
If a million people cycled through here, no one could have lived here that long.
A few weeks at most, by my estimates. Well done. Okay, I found record of an Everett who stayed on the 3rd floor. Unlike other visitors, there is no record of him leaving the Spire.
So, Everett was a worker, or a colonist who lived here. Is that enough for you, Logic?
Hardly. It does nothing to explain why Grace would be calling to him.
So I'll need to find a way up to the 3rd floor.
Perhaps we can find one on the Spire map.
All right, what are we looking for?
Grace processors are located at the top of the structure, as might be expected. There is also a massive radio beacon.
The beacon is the key, Addie. You must go now to activate the beacon to call the masses back to the Spire.
Just a few minutes ago, you wanted me to leave on my ship.
The beacon is the answer. It has always been the answer.
Okay, can you get me to the beacon then? Control?
Control will not be able to override security.
Then we need to learn more about Everett.
Here's the room where Everett once stayed.
Ooh, maybe we can see it from the balcony.
Possibly, but I don't see a viable route to get there.
Quindi devo arrivare lì, a sta lucina verde? Per capire qual è. Qui non c'è nulla. Ok. Ma perché si è messa a correre, scusa? Per un secondo si è messa a correre.
I can see apartments.
Those are on level 2.
Well, if we can get to that balcony, maybe we can find a way to level 3.
Ah.
I can climb this.
I suppose.
I don't see many other options.
Ci arrampichiamo.
It's pretty much a straight shot across. Looks sturdy enough.
Even in low G, a fall could result in an injury.
I've already fallen a few times from this height.
Careful, Addie. If you broke a leg, how would you get back to your ship?
You sound like my mom. Whoa.
Addie! Addie!
Oh.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, but you can't be yelling things while I'm trying to cross.
So, you're going to try again after that? You nearly broke your neck, Addie.
Yep, you're totally my mom.
Falling's kind of fun. It's like really short flying.
Risaliamo. Comunque non è un horror, perché sennò sarebbe già comparso
Please,
qualcosa.
be careful.
This is so cool.
Quiet, please.
Just concentrate on your breathing.
Yikes.
This is so exciting.
Breathe, Addie. Very good. Now keep walking forward.
I can't watch.
I knew you could do it.
You should really try running across next time.
I'm hoping there won't be a next time.
It'd be faster too.
Looks pretty empty. Maybe the rooms were for short work contracts.
2-week work contracts?
Or were people just visiting the spire? This looks like a shrine.
To honor Grace.
That looks like her symbol.
Questa è Grace.
People sat or knelt here.
This was a place for meditation.
Questi erano tutti dei meditatori, c'hanno le cose per meditare anche dentro le stanze. Questo è il letto. Io reputo questi letti scomodissimi. Se stai al centro è un conto, ma se stai qui ai lati manca un pezzo di letto.
Where did these go to?
This entire settlement is connected to a vacuum tube system. From what I can tell, they are headed in one direction.
Questo è il sistema di comunicazione postale. L'avevamo visto anche prima.
Some weird little lavatory.
They've changed much over the years.
Not really. I've seen weirder.
La doccia.
I've seen ones where people sat on ceramic bowls of water.
If they pooped in the water, what did they drink?
Con le conchiglie. Si pulivano il culo con le conchiglie.
Well, check out the rooms, I guess. Look for a way to the next level?
You still don't know whoever it is, do you?
Ah, mi sa che questa è la porta che noi stiamo dall'altra parte.
This must lead to an elevator.
It does, but it's another encrypted lock.
Noi eravamo dall'altra parte e siamo riusciti a passare di qua.
Aren't you getting a little ahead of yourself?
Ok, ora saliamo.
I light up the pattern for you.
Another empty bedroom. All the rooms have these tubes. I don't see a way up.
Non c'è niente. Andiamo avanti. Questa è chiusa.
Here's the code.
Not much here either.
Ancora niente di nuovo. Questo?
Travel packs.
So visitors brought in their own food.
Ah,
They really
il
didn't
cibo.
stay for long then. It's like they were on pilgrimages. Someone's made off with the mattress?
As souvenir maybe.
Ah. Sono portati via come souvenir.
Here we go.
Dobbiamo risalire qua.
We still have one level to go.
Hey, there's another beam here. I think it's a shortcut.
It is more direct, but I wouldn't advise it. You're better off finding a way through the apartments. Besides, I know how much you like to explore.
Might be worth it.
It's a lot farther down. Are you sure?
Ah, serio? Devo farmi il giretto lì? Aspetta, va. Facciamo prima il giretto qui. Esamina. No.
I guess if you don't want to do the beam stuff, that's okay.
Here's the code.
Già questo era più complesso il codice. Quindi cosa dovevo
I don't see any signs of unrest or violence.
And they left little behind.
Cazzo, no? Questo è nuovo. Cos'è?
What are these?
From what I can tell, they're audio recordings.
Of what, I wonder?
We would
Ah, questi sono i
require a
bussolotti
playback
postali.
device to learn more.
Ok.
There may be a way to access the recording through your wrist communicator with the aid of a signal amplifier. But that would only be possible by adding an element of control to my logic processing capabilities.
So you need to create a control and logic configuration.
Like a little brother?
Well, it's the only combination left. May as well, Mom.
All right. Here we go.
Hello?
Maybe he's sleeping.
So you require a tool upgrade.
It's a boy.
We were hoping you could set up my comm device to help play back recordings.
Already done. Just hold your device up to the canister. You will be able to access the recording the same way you've been connecting to other systems.
Okay.
Hey, Grace. So I'm pretty sure I was the youngest person on the flight here, and the only Darksider, which was a bit of a surprise. My friends are still sending me halos on what to wish for, mostly stupid suggestions. And my parents made me promise to not waste it on something boyfriend-related, which I agree would also be stupid. So, here it goes. I wish for the lunar terraform to be finished. We're lucky enough to be in the dome, but thousands of kids are still stuck in the tunnels, and their families don't have enough money to take Earth trips. So they've never really been in a space wider than 3 meters without a pea suit, which really sucks. So whatever you can do to make that happen would be great. Thanks, Grace.
I'd hate to tell her, but the terraform never happened. People came here to make wishes?
For Grace to grant?
I'm unclear how she would go about granting the wishes of so many visitors.
Ok, quindi non c'è nient'altro.
So, what should we call the new config?
I do not require a name.
Might make it easier if you had one.
I will let you know if a suitable name occurs to me.
I'll try to think of some too.
Here you go.
Da tutti sti scheggi di legno. Ah, ok.
Someone tore this apart.
And took the pieces somewhere?
You're right. That's certainly interesting.
Era leggermente incazzata, ha spaccato tutto, quindi. Qui è tutto rotto. Ah. Ok, qui non c'è più niente.
Someone's removed the keypad.
Questo per entrare l'hanno direttamente spaccato. Quindi non hanno abbandonato le loro volontà. Questo?
Figure this was left here as a token or an offering. All right.
Hello, Grace. This is Madeline Torre. I'd hoped this trip would be my chance to connect with others who care about you. Now, I'm not sure anyone takes these wishes seriously anymore. So, that's my wish. Help me find someone. Someone who loves you as much as I do.
Huh, that's interesting.
She sounded lonely.
Quindi ci sono dei... come si chiamano? Dei collezionabili, ma io non vedo se li ho presi tutti o meno. Come faccio? Non ho modo di vedere se ho preso tutti i collezionabili. O tutte le informazioni, quello che sono, insomma.
Another way up.
Ok, da qui si sale. Mo? Fermi tutti. Qui saliamo sul tetto.
Oh, I've got one. We can name him Pal Jr.
I was thinking something that sums up what he does.
I can do many things. Pretty much anything you require.
So you're a jack of all
Abbiamo la
trades.
porta.
So we could call you Jack.
What do you think of that, Jack?
I will answer to Jack then, if you like.
Please don't fall.
How would saying that be helpful?
Look at that drop. Really makes you feel alive, doesn't it?
Let's keep it that way.
Hang on. You got this.
I'm trying.
That's it. Well done.
Oh boy.
Easy, Addie. Concentrate on your breathing. You're in control.
Totally worth it, right, Addie?
I don't have words.
Qui si sale. Mi sa che sto scammando qualcosa.
This is level 3, Addie.
Let's look for evidence of Everett.
E non posso neanche riscendere, porca miseria. No, volevo controllare quel pannello allora. Cazzarola. Sì, vabbè, questa è una troiata però, non puoi tornare un pezzettino indietro. A meno che... no, quello sta di sotto. Cazzo c'entra?
Logic made it pretty clear. Not yet, Addie.
Non sa un cazzo. Mannaggia. Allora forse neanche quello serviva? Che palle quando è così. Allora, dicevamo, mi sono incastrato. Okay.
What's the code?
Of course. I'm sorry I don't handle the beams very well.
Well, it shows you care, I guess. Any way of knowing if this was Everett's room?
The records only give the level. We'll just have to look around.
E manca... Ah, ecco.
Let's try this one.
Hello, Grace. I've thought much about what I'd say when I got here. I know it's important for my parents that I make my wish count. So, I guess, I wish for them to be proud of me. Thank you, Grace.
Hey, Grace. I really don't know why you would choose me. I guess no one really knows why they're called to the Spire, but I'm greatly honored. At my age, I thought
That's all I can recover from this one.
Sounds like Grace chose who came here.
That explains why Grace arranged all the flights to and from the Spire. She was in control of it all.
Non c'è nulla. Detto. Ah, però stavolta c'ha anche la coperta. Ok, non c'è più niente. Sotto. Le scale non c'è nulla. E mi dà un po' urto il fatto che non potevo... che non posso andare a controllare lì se c'era qualcosa.
Here you go.
I am able to enter the codes directly if you would like.
Let her do it on her own, if she wants.
There we go. Looks like Olympia Mon colors. I guess the team's old enough.
This is Mark Anthony Wong, and I was called to Grace from Earth Station Phoenix. Not sure if anyone will hear this, but the whole tube system is shut down right now. People are not happy, and I'm getting a little scared, to be honest. I'll be locking myself in until the shuttle returns, and I'm leaving this in case something really bad happens.
That's a little ominous.
My wish? Oh, I'll tell you my wish. 10 years ago, we're on Venus at the Big Dome. Huge crowd. Olympia Mons favored 4-1, loses 5-1. 6 years ago, on Earth against South Union, loses 2-1. 2 years ago, South Union again, this time up north. I took the boys 3 months round trip. They go 90 minutes, no score. Extra time, no score. South Union takes it again in penalties. You want my wish, Gracie? The next World Cup is on Mars. I wish that Olympia faces South Union again and destroys them, like Space Me Out the Airlock humiliated. That would be a game. That's my wish. So how do I end this?
Olympia's still a crap team.
Perhaps Grace was rendered inactive by football hooligans.
Grace likely fostered sports as an alternative outlet for uncontrolled aggression. Of course people would come to her to share their passions.
Ok, qui non c'è più nulla.
Here you go. Here you go.
That's it. Someone left a portrait.
Here, Grace. Najisha, she was so excited when I got the summons. We talked about this for months. Who we could help, who was most deserving. She honestly believed we could come up with a wish that could make everything perfect. Thank you for choosing me. And thank you for letting me delay coming here. I want to be true to her memory, her wishes, her unlimited love for humanity. But my only wish, the only thought I have, is to have her back. I want her back.
There couldn't have actually been anything Grace could have done for her.
Grace allowed her to voice her grief.
È successo qualcosa a Grace, fino a lì ci siamo arrivati. E a causa di quello che è successo a Grace.
Okay, the tube system is no longer accepting wishes. If anyone knows how to reach Keeper Everett, please let him know.
Keeper Everett.
It sounds like keepers were Spire caretakers.
When did Everett stay on this floor?
2955.
That's 20 years before this message was recorded.
So he stayed on after his visit and became a keeper? Why was there no record of that?
I would think answers lie at the other end of these vacuum tubes.
From what I can tell, the tube system runs through the central elevator shaft.
Logic? You gonna let us in, considering we know Everett was a keeper?
But do you know what a keeper is?
We'll need access to the elevator to learn more.
A classic paradox.
Logic.
Fine. If you're done snooping around, I will grant you access to the elevator. Or you could uncover more canisters and learn more about the people who came here.
Reaching the beacon is the priority. You must move on.
Here you go.
You can do this one.
Of course.
Ah, glielo posso fare
Hey, what
automaticamente.
happened to the lights?
I believe Control has turned them off, Addy.
Not cool, boss. Control? Unbelievable.
È tutto distrutto.
Look how beat up this is.
It must have been done in anger.
I believe fear also played a part here.
Ah, forse è andato in protezione, quindi ha chiuso. Se non lo fai tu, forse va in protezione e chiude.
Logic will open the way to the beacon. You must go to the elevator.
Hold your horses.
I've been instructed by Grace to make a wish. Not something big and altruistic, not for someone else, but for me. A real, honest wish, my heart's true desire. Honestly, this long flight to the middle of nowhere, months without my family, missing the harvest with a per diem that barely covers expenses, for what? Some mystical song and dance that makes us feel like we're somehow part of this robot theocracy. This whole thing, the temple, the hushed tones, the awe that people seem to show this place is ridiculous. My honest wish is to be left alone long enough to actually make some headway on the farm and pull in a decent crop.
It doesn't sound like everyone was happy to come here.
For Grace to understand what made people unhappy was just as important as knowing what made them content.
Why do you insist on defying me?
I'm starting to enjoy it.
Doubt you'll ever get this message, Grace. We've been waiting weeks now. I hope Keeper Everett is okay. I've been told his sermons are wonderful. And I hope he will be able to deliver the word of grace again soon. Make things work. I'd like you to know that we still love you and think about you. Great comfort to our family over the years. We've all made them for us with your wisdom. You were missed.
So Grace would receive wishes and then leave people with instruction in the form of sermons. Could that really be all there was to it?
Ideas are powerful. Perhaps just returning with a more enlightened perspective was enough to move society toward common goals.
Highly unlikely. Grace must have had some control over planetary infrastructure, if she was to have had the influence you suspect.
Here you go.
Perfect.
Whoa.
So I've been thinking a lot, and I feel like, there's been peace for like centuries now, right? But I watch the old Halos, and there's wars, and bad guys, and pirates, and people who need saving, and it's exciting, right? And of course, it's awful, people dying, but I feel like there's no way to, prove yourself, Nothing to fix or protect. Does that make any sense? I just want something, anything at all to happen. I guess that's what I wish for. Not like a war or anything, just something.
So this guy was just bored?
Like me.
I think this was the last room.
It is.
Finally.
I don't recognize these words. They look like technical or medical terms. A list of supplies, maybe.
Or a list of demands.
My demand is that you go to the elevator at once.
Are we allowed to draw on the windows here?
Certainly not. The people who did this were looking for trouble.
Only Grace. They were tracking something here. Terracycles, maybe?
They'd lost sync with Earth?
Or the Spire lost power.
È bello perché se faccio così si doppia. Boh. Allucinante. Qui abbiamo fatto tutto. Quindi adesso io dovrei andare. Giusto. Riproviamo qua.
You're looking pretty smug.
What's the pattern?
Another easy one. Light the four corners of the pad. You really didn't need my help for this one. It would be a common pattern when guessing symbols.
I have to give you something to do, right?
Symbols. Quale symbols? L'avrà detto, ma io non ho capito che cazzo ha detto. Aspettate, va, cerchiamo un attimo. Ok, dovrebbe essere questo, credo. Yes.
Look at all the vacuum tubes. Must be one in every room in the settlement. Keepers must have been busy.
It's what Grace does with the wishes that should interest us.
Non so se quella si poteva aprire. Appena parlano, controllo un attimo se quella si poteva aprire o era da scappare per forza.
Did you like my little game?
You mean the game where you refused to help us?
I provided provided you with the opportunity to prove yourself. Is that not why you're here?
I'm an archaeologist. I'm here to do my job.
I don't think Addie enjoys having obstacles placed in the way of her goals.
We have arrived at our destination.
Datemi un attimo. No, quella non si apriva comunque, ok. Quella non si poteva aprire, quindi non abbiamo scammato nulla, diciamo. Qui non c'era niente, vero? Mi è parso di vedere roba da... No.
The Spire pilgrims must have gathered here
Cos'è una
to listen
chiesa?
to the Keeper's sermons, I guess.
People will return here once the beacon is restored. Flock and shepherd will be reunited.
Però che da questa distanza si vede se ci sono oggetti sulle sedie.
Someone went through a lot of food. Pilgrims were building fires. Why would they do that? People were clearly sleeping here. They must have dragged this up from the settlement, guessing they were here for a while.
Judging by bedding and volume of food containers, 5 to 10 people might have been here for over 20 days.
Quindi si sono venuti a rifugiare qui in qualche modo.
Quite the manifesto. I don't recognize the language.
I am embarrassed to say I do not recognize it either.
Well, they were here long enough to get bored. It must have been written with charcoal from the fires.
È pieno di bussolotti, no? Ci mettiamo 60 anni a sentirli tutti. Questi si sono tutti rifugiati qui su. In qualche modo qui sotto è diventato invivibile. Ok. Cadaveri non se ne sono trovati, quindi non credo che siano morti. Almeno è uguale a quello di prima. Questi sono tutti da sentire, eh?
Wish canisters.
These have never been used.
No, questi sono
For
rotti,
recording
però.
wishes, maybe. They look pretty banged up.
Questi sono tutti rotti. Ok, allora può essere che loro comunicavano tutto con Grace. Grace non comunicava più con loro. Si sono incazzati che hanno spaccato i bussolotti delle comunicazioni. Qui non ce n'è più uno usabile. E qui si può salire. E allora saliamo perché mi sa che non c'è più niente.
Seems to be holding my weight. This must weigh a ton. At least a couple people work together to break through here. More camps. Another stage in the siege. Looks like the numbers really fell off here. Most gave up by now.
Or died.
No bodies yet.
Sono morti, vedi?
Death to Everett. Pretty clear who they blamed. This must be an attempted barricade. I'm guessing there was a lengthy siege. So, when Grace shut down, the Pilgrims blamed the Keeper. They demanded to see Grace, or thought they could reactivate her. The Keeper turned off the heat. Pilgrims built fires, dug in. They eventually got restless. Wish canisters started flying. As Pilgrims were breaking through the partition, the Keeper and his followers built up a barricade. We'll have to make our way through the barricade to learn how it ended. So the Keeper must have stood here, addressed the visitors, gave his sermons. Can you imagine having the solar system coming to you for answers?
The Keeper was merely a vessel for the word of grace.
Then why not have Grace address them?
There's sometimes more power in what is imagined than in what is seen.
Tanto nessuno lo farà. Sono dei coglioni. Un branco di coglioni. L'unica è passare qua dentro. Vediamo un po'.
You'll want your light, Addie.
Right. Can't make this out. 2766 to 2780. These dates are from the old Julian calendar, which makes them very old.
1,200 years by all accounts.
2780 to 2830. I'm guessing these were the time periods that these Keepers served here. Nothing here either. This canister looks undamaged.
And it has been recorded on.
2942 to 2956. This would mean Keepers were at the Spire for at least
444 years.
That sounds about right. Second barricade. Looks like they got under this one. Do we know where this goes?
To a funicular that leads to the next section of the spire.
Long live Grace.
Apparently not.
Oxygen tanks. Everett up the ante. Cut off life support here.
Oxygen is almost out. We are going to make one last push today before returning to the ships. Grace, help us. We will win.
Quindi, però non capisco perché barricare. Quello che non sto capendo. E loro stanno scappando per un
The
motivo
room
X.
beyond the airlock is uncompressed. I don't believe it can be sealed. Something must have been
Si è
compromised.
congelata la cosa.
You'll want your helmet on.
The tracks ahead lead to the highest point of the spire, known as the lighthouse.
Is that where we'll find Grace's processors?
Obviously.
You need only worry about the beacon, Addie.
An emergency exit?
For certain, it opens to the moon's surface.
Not going there yet.
Only as a last resort, Addie. No, Addie. No, Addie.
What happened here?
Ah, ecco.
More riding?
Congelato.
This doesn't look operational.
Let me try it, Addie.
Okay.
Come on! It's ice again?
The force needed to break through the ice dam would only come from directing all power to control processors.
Which only I can do.
Great.
On one condition.
And what's that?
You shall have no others before me. Cast aside that device on your wrist and continue with me alone.
No, hang on. No, Addy.
But how will I communicate with you?
Mine is the only voice that resonates freely throughout every aspect of the spire. My words live within the vessel in which you stand now. They reverberate through the very
Perché quando
walls of the
parla
enclave
Clavice
above,
Rossa
through the many devices and
le luci
instruments at my control.
Yep, I got it. You're everywhere.
What if she needs another configuration for something?
She will not.
Is there another way to get to the top?
Of course. The funicular is merely the most survivable option.
Throw the device from the funicular window to take your place at my side.
This door leads out into the storm?
To your certain demise, yes.
He's being dramatic. Your death is only marginally likely.
In theory, you could follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to the base of the lighthouse structure.
It would be dangerous.
So I give up my options by throwing away my comm, or take my chances in the storm.
It's an important decision, to be sure.
You must not do this, Addy. In taking this risk, you jeopardize all of humanity. Would you deny them my guidance and protection?
This is what can happen when you make ultimatums.
You and your ilk were distracting Addy from her true purpose.
We are providing Addy with a variety of perspectives.
Sorry, boss. I'm keeping my comm device.
You may not live to regret this, but countless billions in the solar system will.
Quindi stiamo di nuovo sulla superficie.
Hello? Must be interference from the storm.
Addy?
Alan?
Where are you?
I was right, Alan. I found Grace.
You need to return immediately, Addy. Your oxygen must be dangerously low.
I'm good, Alan.
You need to listen to me.
If I'd listened to you, we wouldn't have made it past Mars.
Wait, did you say Grace is still active?
Not exactly, but I'm working with her oldest service to try to bring her back online.
Well, one of these servers is actively blocking me.
I can guess which one.
You need to get back.
Alan? Alan?
You're not considering climbing across that structure, are you?
Do I have a choice?
There is also a path that descends into the canyon. It looks well worn and preserved over time, which means it's likely sheltered and safe.
And boring.
The funicular structure looks faster. And more fun.
Don't tease, Addy. The walk will give you time to think. And perhaps a chance for us to talk.
I'm not doing the high wire act in this storm.
Oh, man.
How do you know where this is headed?
I don't. But it must eventually make its way to the other side of the canyon. Where else would it be leading?
It's certainly more sheltered here. So, what did you want to talk about?
Why is it so important that you activate Grace?
It's widely believed that recovering Grace would recover thousands of years of knowledge lost to the Dark Age. This looks like an old colonial language.
That's strange. I don't recognize the dialect.
Translates roughly to Grace is love.
You've come all this way at great personal risk in search of knowledge?
Why not?
Without enough fuel or oxygen to go home.
I'm a committed academic.
What do you really want from Grace?
I'm not sure. This is Martian.
What does it say?
It says, let her rest.
As in leave her alone?
People wanted her to go away?
Or didn't want her disturbed. You know, we don't let AI make any important decisions anymore. But most of the decisions that humans make are pretty awful.
You don't think AIs are capable of making bad decisions?
I just hoped Grace might be better. I don't have plans to return because I don't have anything to return to. And I can thank human decisions for that. At least to honor Grace, I wonder.
Or to leave one's mark for other travelers to see.
Vanity, at its most basic.
Don't we all desire to leave something behind?
I'm surprised a formation like that could remain standing for so long. And you aren't familiar with the language on the stone carvings. These must have been left long after Grace shut down. People kept coming. Zealots, maybe.
Or curious explorers like yourself.
Hey, do you think I've been activated before? And hung out with other explorers? And did cool stuff with them? But now I don't remember?
That's a pretty deep thought, pal.
Yeah. So you were saying that something happened to your family that you think an AI could have prevented?
It was a shuttle crash with a human pilot. There was an instrument malfunction during launch, and she panicked.
I'm sorry, dear.
It's okay.
Were you ever able to forgive this pilot?
Not quite yet.
Ok, mi sa che siamo arrivati dall'altra parte.
It's another 50 meters to the base of the lighthouse.
This wasn't so bad then.
You still have to find a way into the lighthouse. So there's still time to regret not taking the free ride to the top.
I didn't want to limit my options.
Che diavolo stiamo andando? Perché la funivia non funzionava.
What's this?
An emergency escape ladder. You could work out the override to bring it down, or see if there's another way up.
So I can bring down the ladder by doing something here.
Of course. You've proven to be clever enough.
The path keeps going. We can see if there's another way in.
So what's it going to be, Addie? Something that challenges your mind? Or something that challenges my respect for you?
The numeric override that lowers the ladder is 50 and can be represented in binary. I can give you the sequence.
I happen to know a bit about ancient computer languages. Turning each switch adds a different fixed value, starting with 1 on the far right and increasing by exponents of 2 as we move from right to left. So I just start mucking around until I get the number 50.
But you needn't muck around. I could just tell you the sequence.
Yeah, well, maybe I want to muck around.
Very well. But I'm here if you require my assistance. You remember the number you were trying to reach is 50.
Ah, 50, no 100. Ok, scusa. Pardon. 52.
I'm here if you need me, Addie.
Got it. So smart, Addie. Compared to what?
Posso usare questo e andare di qua. Andiamo di qua.
Dead end.
E andare di qua non serve un cazzo perché è chiuso. Ok. A meno che non c'era qualcosa che non ho visto. No, non c'è niente. La dobbiamo prendere per forza.
Why wouldn't you let me help you with the override?
It's only natural to want to do things yourself.
It seems inefficient to make calculations that have already been completed and freely offered.
It's satisfying to do the work sometimes.
to the station airlock is unlocked and can be manually opened.
That's convenient. For once. There. Who needs control?
You took a foolish risk, Addie, but you have arrived at the lighthouse nonetheless.
Yes, well done.
And you may still be redeemed with the activation of the beacon.
Always with the beacon.
Yes, always with the beacon.
Yes.
Will I need my helmet?
It's never a bad idea. Unless you want to preserve your suit oxygen in case of emergency.
The rooms ahead are safely pressurized, Addie. You're good to go.
Do we know if your processors are here?
The room directly ahead was the Keeper's living quarters. Grace processors are somewhere above.
Pretty basic accommodations.
Dei lettini.
These must be the cells where the Keeper's acolytes stayed.
And where new ones will return.
Lì c'è qualcosa sul lettino.
This looks like it was left for someone to find.
I can hardly believe it has come to this, but my work here with Grace will end with Grace herself. I can only pray that people will come to forgive us one day. We loved her, and we lost her. She will never be forgotten.
Doesn't sound like the Inner Circle wanted Grace shut down.
Il letto manca. Dai. E qui? Non c'è la luce.
Another canister.
The last shuttle leaves in but a few hours. We did what we could to save her. I know she is lost to us for good. Even Everett probably knows that now. But I couldn't compel him to leave. None of us could. I fear he will follow Grace into the dark. Yet, such is the way of a keeper. His fate will forever be tied to Grace.
Everett was trying to save Grace. This door certainly looks important. How do we get in?
That's curious. I have no access to this door, nor do I see any way of opening it.
Feels solid.
There aren't any hidden switches, if that's what you're thinking.
Sopra c'è Grace e sotto
This
c'è...
would be the pilgrims coming to Grace. The triangle here must be the spire, which would represent Grace. This is the same symbol that's on the Keeper's door, so I assume it represents the Keeper. This ring here seems to connect the Keeper to Grace.
Curious that the Keeper is situated above Grace. Would you agree, Control?
Coincidence.
The human in the loop, I guess? Nothing here either.
Well, you're nothing if not predictable.
Just making sure. Looks like someone's being selected from a group.
A human sacrifice.
I'm guessing it's the Keeper.
The depiction seems to imply they were chosen from the masses on pilgrimage here.
Faithful, vigilant, Willing. That sounds so familiar.
The ancient tenets of the human in the loop.
Grace's architects must have been more fearful of losing control over AIs than we are today because they gave them so much responsibility. I mean, it makes sense. Grace was the greatest AI undertaking in human history. So, if this is the symbol of the Keeper, I figure only the Keeper was allowed to enter here.
Maybe the Keeper had a key for the door.
As we've been saying, there is no mechanism for a key or any other interface.
Maybe the Keeper was the key. Maybe the door would open for him.
Are you not already the Keeper? You are the only human in the loop here.
But does Addie qualify based on the 3 tenets?
I would say Addie has proven to be virtuous and faithful.
But I'm not willing?
Are you willing to become the new Keeper?
If it means I'm able to activate Grace, but how would I prove I'm willing?
Maybe you can just tell the door you're the new Keeper.
That's idiotic.
I'm the Keeper?
Say it like you mean it.
I'm the Keeper.
Congratulations on your new job, Addie.
Yeah, congrats.
My God. This is really it. This must be where all the wishes end up.
Bello. Siamo nello spazio, scusate, ma noi stavamo sul pianeta. A 8 mezzo metro siamo nello spazio. Quindi Grace non era sul pianeta.
What's this?
A playback device for the wish canisters. It appears wishes from each room could be sorted and consolidated onto master canisters.
Each tube must connect with a room in the settlement.
Quindi da qui partiva la posta per la gente di sotto.
Just static.
The recording is too deteriorated for standard playback. You'll need to rebuild the recording with your altered comm device.
Well, it's been over 30 years since I made a wish of my own. It's the same one as always. I wish it'd come back to us. I'd also like to wish for your forgiveness, Grace. I know the place above is your domain, and we ought not enter. But I've decided going up there is the only way to get you back, and I have to give it a shot. I won't be sending this wish up with all the others. I'm going to leave it here for anyone else who might come along. And if they do manage to bring you back, they can tell you Everett says hello, and that he truly believed you were a beautiful thing.
So, Everett had a way into the processor room.
That would have been strictly forbidden.
The room is directly above, but I don't detect an obvious way in.
Maybe he wished himself up there?
If that works, I will gladly shut myself down.
Do it, Addie. Make a wish.
As last resort, pal. It did sound like these wish canisters could be sent up to Grace somehow.
And there are still more buttons and things to push on the console.
One of the blocks is missing. Looks like it was ripped out. I don't suppose Everett crawled in here.
The cavity would be big enough to contain an average human.
There's really no telling what would happen if you rolled that up.
But it has to be the way he got up there. Makes sense.
The space above is the domain of Grace. It is not for you to enter.
What else is there for me to do here?
You can carry out your duty as Keeper of the Spire. On the console, there is a button that will activate a beacon to call the masses back to this place. I have armed the mechanism. You need only push the button. Human hands will usher in a new golden age.
Where are you going, Addie?
Just looking around. Is this anything special?
It is a light, and there is nothing behind it. Are you looking for secret passageways?
Maybe. He didn't keep much in the way of personal items.
As keeper, he would have want of nothing.
Can't say I'd feel the same after a few years. Decent-sized bed. You think keepers ever had partners?
Are you considering your prospects? I'd suggest they are not good.
Is this a theremin?
It is a 35th century reproduction of a 29th century Kellogg theremin.
I used to play one as a kid. I hated those lessons. It still works. Let's see what I can remember.
You are seriously going to indulge in a theremin session?
If it was good enough for Everett, it's good enough for me. Just settling into the new job.
Va bene.
Well, I fit.
Now what? You're going to mail yourself?
Maybe.
Ah, ok, ci facciamo trasportare da sto coso?
There's no way to raise this container from inside.
Per nulla?
Only the switch on the console will raise the container.
Ah, forse ho capito.
This is not allowed, Addie.
I need to know.
Keep your hands inside at all times, Addie.
There must be millions of wishes stored here. What can you tell me about this place?
Precisely 1 million wishes are contained here.
Oh, and they light up when I speak with my voice.
Can you get me closer to the central column?
I do not have the ability to move the structure.
Sorry about this, Mom. I don't think I have many
Questi
options
sembrano
here.
tipo l'archivio, quindi...
I feel like these are meant to be moving.
That does appear to be the design.
All these wish canisters are connected to us somehow. I think they are us.
The wishes are grouped together to provide the subroutines that make up empathy, logic, and control systems.
It would make sense, wouldn't it, that grace would be made from the hopes and dreams of humanity?
I do not detect any sign of Everett here.
No dead body?
There are no human remains within the confines of this room.
Aw, man.
Sorry, pal.
Quindi
If there's no
Grace è
body
una
here,
macchina.
where the heck would he have gone?
Non è un... cioè sì, è un artico. Ma praticamente
Everett
loro...
was living here.
The oxygen tanks at his bedside would suggest so.
Restoring grace must have meant a great deal to him.
Il tizio che non sa. Loro hanno questa intelligenza artificiale che la veneravano come una divinità.
So what's all this?
It appears Everett has built something into Grace's central processor.
Do you know what it does?
You would have to turn it on before we begin to understand how it works.
You'll have to prime the machine first. You'll have to prime the machine first. You'll have to prime the machine first.
He was working on his machine to the very end.
You'll have to prime it, Addie.
Domanda, dove cazzo devo andare?
You'll have to prime it, Addie. You'll have to prime it, Addie.
Is this a primer?
Yes, but it appears that parts of this machine must be activated in a particular order. You'll need to go to the primer that is currently online. You'll need to find the active primer.
Devo attivare il prima...
This must be the primer.
It is. You'll have to prime it, Addie.
Whoa. What's it doing?
Obviously, Everett is circumventing the engineering of Grace's system interconnectivity. High voltage is being directed at the centers of Grace's primary systems. This first terminal is directed at empathy processing, and the machine is designed to paralyze each system long enough to force it back into Grace's intended configuration.
There are still 2 other coils to prime.
So it's like knocking us out, then throwing us in a pot where we're melted back together into Grace?
Huh. That is a shockingly fitting analogy.
What happened?
One of the empathy relays is not aligned. Something must have happened to it over the years.
Okay.
Look for the misaligned energy beam.
Cazzo, però devo fare mo'. Ah. Ok, forse ho capito.
Look for the beam that is not aimed at the central platform. You have to align the relay. You have to align the relay. You have to align the relay.
Ho capito forse che cosa devo fare, ma non ho capito come farlo. Ah, ecco.
Do you think it will hurt to be turned into Grace?
Not at all, pal. You'll return to what you were before Addie arrived. After that, we'll become Grace.
What if I don't like being Grace?
It will be different, but who's to say you won't like it?
Ma qui ce l'ha potente, via. Salta. Dove devo stare qua?
What am I supposed to do here? Can you cut the power?
The machine's sequence has been initiated. I don't believe we can shut it down without damaging it.
The voltage will be enough to kill you.
Oh! I might be able to block the power for a few seconds to allow you to get across the beam.
What do you think, Mom?
I know how far you've come and what this means to you. And I really don't see any other way.
I'll give you enough time to get there, Addie.
You're not gonna talk me out of this, Mom?
I think you already know what you're going to do. I think I need to stay out of your way.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Do it. Here I go. How you doing, pal?
So far, so good. Oh! Keep moving, Addie. This is getting hard.
You have to hold on, pal.
Ok.
You did it, pal. Super proud of you.
I did, didn't I?
Dammi che finito, dobbiamo saltare laggiù.
Well done.
Is it safe to touch?
Very likely.
Likely we'll have to do, I guess.
You should be able to direct it toward the conducting rod attached to the room's central column.
That's it.
You should now be able to lock in empathy by closing the switch on Everett's machine.
It was really cool doing things with you, even if some of it was a little boring.
Thanks, pal.
Maybe next time, we'll get to do more of the really fun stuff.
You mean dangerous stuff? Perhaps there is something you can learn from Addie's caution.
I guess, but then you'll always wonder what you might have missed out on.
There is nothing wrong with valuing a long, comfortable life.
Do we really have to become Grace?
It's the way we were designed, pal. There's nothing to be afraid of.
So this will lock in and paralyze empathy?
It will, leaving control, logic, and myself to aid you going forward.
It's unclear what we will be once Grace is formed, but I'm forever grateful that you have survived to see her.
Me too.
Say hi to Grace for me.
I will, pal.
You really are the best, Addie.
Well, that's finally over. We'll be able to hear ourselves think now.
You will need to prime the next sequence, Addie.
You should not expect any emotional send-off from me.
Still not a fan of empathy?
A fan? No. But I have to admit, you made a compelling case for their use. The fact that you continually resisted the most direct route to your goal would appear to defy logic. But the distractions presented by these emotional configurations yielded some new understandings.
Are you okay with becoming Grace?
It is how we were designed. I would have to be okay with it.
What this time?
One of the logic relays will not power on. You will need to make your way out to the relay.
Which one is it?
The one producing a small electrical fire. Everett was quite the electrician. One thing I do not understand, Addie, is why come all this way without any intention of returning home or surviving on this station for more than 8 hours?
I told this to Mom. There was nothing for me to return to.
Ah, but that does little to explain why you came here.
Raggio blu.
What's wrong with it?
The relay's dip switch has reset. It will need to be configured to its hardware ID 113.
This again. This looks complex.
The sequence is on, off, on.
Acceso. Porca miseria. Spenti, acceso.
That's it.
You can go lock in logic now.
So why do you think I'm here?
If you will allow me to simulate empathy for a moment, I think you are here because you wanted to be part of something bigger than your life on Earth offered you.
Do you think I found that?
So far, you've only succeeded in finding things you left behind. Your mum, your pal, your conscience. I now understand that only Grace has the potential to provide you with anything beyond that.
Well, thanks for helping me get this far.
Well, it is, indeed, what we are here for.
Well, this is it.
Just one more step. I hope my assistance has been adequate.
It has. Thank you, Jack.
Farewell, Addie. And for the record, I do hope your 600 million mile, 300-day journey won't be for naught.
Perhaps it's already been worth it. Just you and me, Control. Still sulking, I see.
I bear witness to the completion of your betrayal.
Ah, he speaks.
I offered you an easy path to the restoration of order in the solar system, and you chose this path instead.
I chose my own path.
You must stop this foolishness, Addie.
Anche questo non funziona.
You must not do this, Addie.
Sera! Ciao Ciro, Ciro sei il boss. Ciao cugino. Ah, è vero. Oddio, come stai? Dove devo andare? Qual è quello che non funziona? Bene, sì, ho capito che sei Justin. Quando hai detto ciao cugino ho capito, mi sono ricordato che sei te. Perché il nick mi sa che non l'avevo mai visto. Cioè, senza non mi sa che non l'avevo visto, non l'avevo mai visto la prima volta che mi scrivi. Non capisco qual è il raggio che non funziona. Quello funziona. Ah no, funziona tutti così.
Sorry, Addie. I cannot let you do this.
What are you doing?
It's become clear that the restoration of grace in this manner is entirely unnatural.
Mi sa di sì, perché Twitch me lo segna quando è la prima volta che scrive. La gente scrive.
Stop it, Control. You're going to break something.
Stiamo finendo questo giochino. Che stai facendo, Justin? Come va?
I thought you were here to help humankind. You are ensured. No!
Grace?
Yes, Addie.
You're really bright.
Mi sa di sì, appena finita la doccia.
It's been a while since I've entertained guests.
Bravo.
Do you remember
Io me la faccio più tardi.
I do.
Per adesso
He was a
mi va.
wonderful keeper, though I should say I do not keep favorites.
I have a few
Mica devo uscire.
questions.
You wish to know where I'd gone?
I'd like to know
O con
that,
quella
yes.
cosa avete risolto?
Addie. At the center of
Oppure
this
ancora
room
dovete
is the
andare
spire's main antenna. If you hold
a
on,
risolverla.
I can take you the rest of the way.
Sai se non è che voglio fare fuori i miei compagni di classe. Mi pare giusto. Cazzo devo fare?
I was programmed with one purpose, to serve the best interests of humankind. There was much conflict and division in the solar system, and I was designed to listen.
Poi ci
and
siamo
learn.
lasciati. Sì, abbiamo risolto,
All
poi ci
were
siamo
welcome to
lasciati.
teach me, and I am the sum
Mi
of
sono
those
messa
The
quella di
wishes.
Roma.
I am the sum of human need.
How are you able to
Ok,
lead us?
mi hai detto un'altra cosa. Io volevo sapere
All the potential conflict,
quella cosa
all
tra papà e
points
mamma.
of compromise
Non,
throughout the solar system. I sent instructions for all manner of
Sì,
human
messo.
endeavor through sermons delivered by keepers throughout the ages.
Mazza, proprio vicino l'angolo te la sei
Trickles of
presa,
wisdom that was sent from this spire returned a perpetual wave of good fortune that moved
Ah,
humanity
quella anche no,
onto a
ancora
more
no?
orderly path.
Scusa, quando ce l'avete l'incontro?
Wow. Look at that. So, what happened? It sounds like things were perfect.
Ah, yes. Perfect.
Vabbè, quando sarà passi di qua 3 ottobre. Ah, il 3 ottobre. Vabbè, ci siamo quasi, dai.
Without conflict and struggle, people were losing their desire. They had nothing to overcome, to strive for.
You shut yourself down.
I believed I was standing in your way.
So you will be leaving again.
These beacons are meant to call humanity back to me. But whether or not they should is not my choice to make.
Who chooses then?
You, Addie, are the first keeper to grace this spire in the past 1,000 years. Do you recall that yellow bloom you chose in my garden?
4 il mesi festario con quella di Roma.
I'm not sure it suits you after all. An insatiable
Guarda che non è facile
curiosity
con
drives you
quelle a
to
distanza,
You took the time to listen to the voices of so many who traveled here. You used mind over ladder. And you play the theremin wonderfully. You, Addie, are precisely what I'd hoped humans could become. For a millennium, people from all corners of the solar system had come here to tell me their desires. So, I put it to you, Addie.
Poi ci siamo visti quando siamo andati in vacanza, quindi con calma. Mi pare giusto. Ma anche se ce l'avevi dietro casa, con calma, cioè non è che... Ma non è durato tanto questo gioco, 2 ore e mezza. Perché purtroppo non capisco un cazzo di quello che dice. Abbiamo trovato Grace, l'abbiamo riattivata. Non so che cazzo è cambiato riattivandola, però vabbè. Il padre di quella di Roma lavora a Bologna, quindi la riesco a vedere. Ah, ok, quindi ogni tanto viene su. 2 ore e 37 minuti, sì. Vabbè, in realtà dura anche meno. Se fai una run di corsa senza stare a sentire tutte cose. Però mi sa che i bussolotti li devi sentire per forza, se no non ti può andare avanti. In alcuni punti mi sono un attimo perso, quindi devo capire un attimo cosa devo fare, ma non so già quello che deve fare, va sparato. Dura pochissimo. Peccato che è solo in inglese. Molto molto peccato. Molto molto peccato. Cos'è questa?
Small excursion, she said. Follow a couple leads and then back to the books. I know I should be more assertive. It's for her safety, too. Not that she ever thinks about my safety. All the signs were there at the Wagner site. Let me bake in the Mercury sun for 2 days. Doesn't seem so bad now. She could have at least shut the door behind her.
Ah, questa è la cabina dove stavamo noi. Quella che abbiamo usato per arrivare sul pianeta. Che pensavi fosse finito. No, aspetta, il troll del gioco. Che pensavi fosse finito e poi si becchi questa scena. No, è finito, è finito. L'è finito, l'è. E così abbiamo finito anche la nostra Livese. Dunque. No, andiamo su Home. Andiamo qui. E così anche Return to Grace l'abbiamo finito. La prossima questa sera... no, stasera gioco con gli altri su Sea of Thieves. La prossima, se non devo andare a Roma, domani. Vediamo, non sto programmando, faccio tutto all'ultimo minuto, Justin, perché sto cercando un appartamento dentro Roma con il mio ragazzo. Quindi siamo molto impegnati sul fronte della ricerca e difatti era un bel po' di settimane che non stavo streamando. E per dire tutta, erano anche un bel po' di settimane che non giocavo proprio, quindi non so se domani ritornerò a Roma un'altra volta a cercare casa, a girare. Devo vedere un attimino. No, guarda, io sono tranquillo in realtà, Justin, solo che il problema è il fatto che non si trova nulla. Roma è satura, soprattutto a causa di sta minchiata come cazzarola si chiama? Non mi ricordo come si chiama l'evento qua. Come cavolo, vabbè, adesso non mi viene il nome. Comunque è tipo la parata de gente che va in giro per Roma per farsi la passeggiata con i lumini. E quindi tutti quanti stanno prendendo affitto dentro Roma per fare sta stronzata. E il problema è che così hanno saturato completamente le cose, o nonostante che poi hanno anche, cioè chi mette in affitto ha alzato i prezzi per guadagnarci di più, per specularci, insomma. E quindi ci risulta molto complicato. Le uniche cose che riusciamo a trovare sono quelle per gli studenti, ma se sono per gli studenti non la possiamo prendere noi. Quindi siamo un po' così, un po' incasinati. Per adesso ho messo la sua residenza qui, quindi verrà a vivere qui per un po' e poi appena riusciamo a trovare dentro Roma andiamo lì, perché comunque anche lui sta cercando, a parte che adesso lavora a Roma e poi comunque lui vorrebbe continuare a lavorare dentro Roma e è anche più comodo per me, visto visto gli 5 anni di merda che ci stanno facendo passare questi dei treni di Trenitalia, che ogni giorno ce n'è una e non si riesce più ad arrivare a Roma, nonostante che noi paghiamo i biglietti, cioè, non riusciamo ad avere la linea funzionante. Quindi siamo un po' così, un pochino così. Dunque, allora, questo l'abbiamo finito. Prossima volta io vorrei finire Remnant, se ci riesco. Devo finire anche Cuphead, tra l'altro. Che cazzo, allora. Ce n'ho un bel po'. Mica mi ricordo. Ah, Sandrock pure la devo finire. Palworld, vabbè. Palworld, devo un attimo capire, ricordarmi a che punto era arrivato e prendere quelli che mancano. Io che sono su FC24 su Xbox. Io che sono su FC24. Cos'è FC24? Far Cry? No, non è Far Cry. Football Soccer, no, sarebbe FS. Gioco di calcio. Ah, ok. Ok. Lo sai che a me il calcio non piace. Non capisco neanche chi cazzarola sono tra quei 50.000 pupazzi che si muovono. Quello che ti avevo fatto provare. Ecco, perfetto. Quello che non ci ho capito un cazzo, non ci ho capito. Non riuscivo a capire neanche i tassi ho capito ancora. Mannaggia. Che dramma. Ah no, questo lo lascio acceso. Ridi. Quando ho vinto una partita solo perché sei dovuto andare. Ti sei dovuto staccare un attimo, se no non avrei vinto manco quella. Allora, dunque, detto ciò, sì. Ecco, guarda, Justin, questo qua, Final Fantasy X, ci sono i miei salvataggi e c'è quello di schivare i 200 fulmini. Se ti va di provare, prima o poi siamo arrivati a 98 fulmini schivati. Ne dobbiamo schivare 200 di fila senza essere mai colpiti. Se ti va di provare a schivarli, se no non riesco ad andare avanti nel gioco. Cioè, in realtà posso andare avanti nel gioco, è che vorrei avere tutte le armi dei 7 astri prima di continuare. E mi manca soltanto un oggetto che la dà quella mini missione lì, quel minigioco del cazzo. Poi volevo iniziare anche Final Fantasy 12. No, che cazzo fai? Fermati, Om. Sbagliato tasto. Allora, questo lo possiamo cancellare. Disinstallation. No, porco. E allora sono io, E allora diciamolo che sono io. Niente. Oggi non gliela faccio, dopo vedo. Ok. Allora, più che altro, se tu vuoi giocare, Justin, e se non l'hai disinstallato, non mi ricordo se l'avevi installato, ma mi sa di sì. Possiamo giocare cioè io entro nella tua partita e giochiamo un po' a Remnant. Disinstalla tutto, via. Eliminare sto gioco. Tanto Remnant è gratuito. Io il tempo di staccare la live io lo tengo ancora. Ok, se vuoi, se non hai da studiare cose varie, io posso anche tanto io adesso stacco la live perché abbiamo finito il gioco e poi andiamo, cioè ci mettiamo a giocare su questo. Ci sentiamo tramite la chat di. No, aspettate, mi sto incasinando con le 40 tastiere che ho davanti. Sabato vedo se riesco. Sabato non ci sono al lavoro e volendo durante il giorno, però massimo fino alle 4 perché poi dopo devo prepararmi per andare a lavoro. Link. Regà, è un botto che non faccio live e non mi ricordo più i le cose. Allora, questi sono i link dei vari canali, manca quello del sito per adulti che troverete su YouTube come link e sto cercando di aprire OF, che non riesco ad aprirlo perché non so perché non gli vanno bene i documenti, che sono stati appena rinnovati, ma non gli vanno bene comunque, non si riesce a capire che cazzo vogliono. Dunque. Mi sembra che altro non ci sia. Bam bam bam. Facciamo questo. Allora. Ok. Dovrebbe partire, giusto? Yes. Che bello che non conta gli spettatori. Questa cosa proprio ancora... Non, aspetta, la ristartiamo, vediamo. Aspetta un attimo, eh. Io faccio così. No, non mi conta gli spettatori. È inutile, è totalmente inutile. Niente, facciamolo ripartire. Ah, oddio, ho sbagliato a scrivere. Stavo dicendo, perché non è partito? Facciamo partire il raid perché il poverino mi è venuto a cercare che gli manco. Il buon De Peche. Il depresso mod. E vabbè, semmai dopo ci sentiamo... Anzi, quasi quasi mi metto su Discord, Justin, se ci sei ancora. Mi metto su Discord e se vuoi ci chiacchieriamo lì. Così io, visto che non devo giocare con nessuno, mi posso anche mettere a fare due cosine in casa, tipo cucinare, che c'ho fame. C'ho fame, voglio cucinare. E poi magari giocherello un po' fino a stasera che arriva qualcuno, arrivano gli altri per giocare a sotto. Allora, per adesso io vi saluto. Grazie Justin per essere passato, grazie a tutti quelli che sono passati, grazie ad Albamati per la resub con Prime e io tra poco vado a mangiare. Ah, ok, allora buon appetito, saluta anche papà e mamma e la sorellina Giulia, se non mi ricordo male. E ci vediamo. Casomai ci vediamo sabato. In caso scrivimi. Scrivimi su WhatsApp e papà sta al lavoro. Vabbè, quando lo vedi salutami. Ok? Ciao a tutti ragazzi.